improper for the court to stop her from being able to engage in that. So so without knowing more, I am going to decline to put a prohibition on the defendant that she could not have contact with the set.
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay. So is there any reason that she would need to be in Washtenaw County? And I'll tell you why I'm asking that. It may seem broad, but I also don't believe in placing individuals in positions where they may violate a condition of bond and not now. If it were easy, all right, court does call the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Samantha Lewis. State your name, please.
Samantha Lewis.
Thank you. All right. This is an arraignment on two charges. One, resisting and obstructing and assaulting a police officer, and a charge of to carry along a trespass. Counsel, do you wish a formal reading of the complaint, or do you want...
Thank you. Respectfully, Judge, I'd ask the court to waive the formal reading of the complaint. Ms. Lewis understands the charges before her and will stand mute to both counts.
All right. Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute. Court will enter a not guilty plea as to both counts. I will set this for a probable cause conference. And typically, as you know, our practice, we set the probable cause conference and then the exam comes along. So I won't be giving you an exam date. But I guess here's my question. I currently have other matters that are set for exam February 12th, correct?
That's correct.
All right. So is this going to be something that is separate from those? Or
yes, they're different days. Yes. It's a different protest. So different facts, different witnesses.
Different days.
It's still the same, essentially the same witnesses. It's the U of M police department. But yeah, there are separate facts and separate dates.
Separate officers even.
There? I don't know. Oh, well, here's what I was just trying to figure out. Does it make sense to set this I'll set it for a PCC, but is it likely that this would end up on the 12th or not?
I don't think we'll have an exam on the 12th for this particular case, not with as many co-defendants as we have on the other case. I think that exam will run for, quite a while, just because there's 5 or 6 co-defendants.
I'm aware. Okay, but what I'm saying is it going to make sense because of the nature of the activities to put them all together? I'm not so much concerned about the witnesses, but one of the things I'm concerned about is Ms. Lewis coming here. She'd have to come for a PCC on this, then come back for the exam on the other matter. And I just, I'm just looking to try to make it as convenient as I can for everyone. But, if nobody wants to do that, I won't.
On the 12th.
Pardon?
We'll waive the 21-day rule, set the PCC on the 12th. That way the other...
That's a special date that I've set for the exam because I've got, I think, 8 co-defendants. So
I'm at your discretion, Your Honor.
Well, I can just set this in the normal course, but I don't know if that inconveniences everyone in terms of doing it. That's all I was trying to do. I don't have to try to be nice about it, but I'm trying.
If we could set it, let's keep the 12th date if we can, Judge. I think that helps because I know my calendar is clear on the 12th. I know.
Well, the 12th will happen.
Right.
Where do you want me to put this case? That's what I'm asking.
We could, if it's the same witnesses, let's put it on the 12th, maybe right after.
For an exam, or you want a PCC before it and then make a determination as to we put it to the 12th?
Sure.
Would that make sense, Madam Attorney General?
Yes, I think that's fine.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll just set a probable cause conference in this case I can do a probable cause next week on the 23rd, if that works.
If we could have it in the afternoon, it would work for me, Judge.
If you'll give me one moment, I'll check my schedule, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm here all day, so I'm good.
Yes, the 23rd. I have a sentencing in 15th District Court at 2 p.m.
No way. No, I'm kidding. Okay, you have a sentencing at 2 in the afternoon at 15 on that.
Yes, in front of Judge Valvo.
Got it.
It's on another co-defendant. No, not a co-defendant, excuse me, another protester.
Got it. And you need the afternoon.
That's correct.
We have a 12:30 block.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Okay, here's what I'll do then. I'll set a probable cause conference for January 23rd, 2025 at 12:30. Timelines having been waived, then we'll figure out, after looking at everything, where this one will go from there. All right. Any issues regarding bond on this case?
Your Honor, with respect to bond, we are asking that you not have any contact with the University of Michigan's properties or any of the University of Michigan property or students except as necessary for medical care. We're asking that you refrain from any assaultive conduct. We're asking that you not have any contact with the Tahrir Coalition, which is an organization.
I'm sorry.
Tahrir, TAHRIR Coalition.
Okay.
And that she not have any contact with Alice Elliott or Josiah Walker.
Assuming a recommendation of PR bond.
Oh, yes, that's fine.
And it's Josiah, you said Walker?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, any
Yes.
response to the condition request?
We don't object to personal recognizance bond, Judge. Ms. Lewis obviously has ties to the community and substantial support as evidence in the courtroom. I do have a strong objection to any prior restraint to this coalition or organizing or being a member or associated with the Tahrir Coalition. I don't know what the Tahrir Coalition is. It, according to the Attorney General in my conversation with her, she says it's a group that protests. Well, I don't think that the court rule 6.106 has any condition that would impose a prior restraint when it comes to bond. It's a
Well, that's not true, because I mean, I heard this argument when I was reviewing the bond condition. Many times bond is about prior restraint, if you're going to look at the definition of prior restraint. So, I mean, I don't know that that is a compelling argument for the court.
Well, I think the association it's another right that an individual has, a citizen has the right to associate, to organize, and to have a meetings with other individuals. This coalition, whatever the coalition stands for, does, or whatever activity they do, I don't think it's necessary as a condition of her bond. I think that it becomes an imposition that is not, it's a set of standards that doesn't happen in any other case. This is a situation, it's not part of her bond condition in the other case that we have pending before this court. I don't have an objection to not going to the University of Michigan except for medical purposes. No problem there.
Let me just ask this. Is she a student at the university?
No, not currently.
Okay. So let me also then, I guess, ask the question, would there be any reason, so there's no reason that she would need to go to the University of Michigan except if it were
For medical
purposes along those lines, right?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. I see that her address is a Detroit address.
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay. So is there any reason that she would need to be in Washtenaw County? And I'll tell you why I'm asking that. It may seem broad, but I also don't believe in placing individuals in positions where they may violate a condition of bond and not now. If it were easy, even for those of us that reside in this county, to figure out exactly where University of Michigan property is, then I wouldn't have a problem. But you could be walking along and all of a sudden she could find herself on U of M property, not necessarily meaning to, but then in at least technical language, violating the bond condition. So I try to set parameters that may seem rather restrictive, but also are clear for defendant. And one of the other things certainly let you talk. The other thing is I could not do, for example, I can't say Ann Arbor because University of Michigan properties exist within Washtenaw County, outside of the city of Ann Arbor.
Well, Judge, there's campuses in Flint, there's campuses in Dearborn. You know, there's.
No, I know,
Yeah.
But I'm more worried about here right now. I can't My wonderful colleagues around the state can worry about those other places. I just have to worry about here. So,
Judge, she has ties to Washtenaw County. If the court's thinking about imposing that, she does have ties to Washtenaw. So I don't know where the court would like to go in terms of imposing a no contact order with the county of Washtenaw. She has ties here, familial ties, personal ties, friendship ties, work associated ties.
all right, there's going to have to be some information given to the court about this. Is it Tahir Coalition?
So you're
I don't. Go ahead.
The information that we have in our files is that the Tahrir Coalition is a professional organizing group that advocates for pro-Palestinian policies. And we don't have a problem with the fact that it exists or that it advocates, but Ms. Lewis's involvement with that group has so far resulted in 2 arrests for her that have resulted in charges for resisting and opposing a police officer. And for that reason, we're concerned about the contact that she has with them and that the work that she does on their behalf, because it is leading to that kind of assaultive behavior.
But are you indicating that her connection to the group, that she somehow is causing others in the group to act in a certain way, or that by her being part of the group, she's now acting in a certain way? I guess I'm unclear as to that.
Sure, Your Honor. I don't know if the group is causing her or if she's causing the members of the group to behave the way that they're behaving. But at the last case, a juvenile was arrested for resisting and opposing as well. We elected not to charge her, but there was a juvenile that was involved in this particular protest. She was sort of the ringleader. She was the one that had the loudspeaker. She spoke over the officer who was trying to get the people to disperse and put down signs that they had pointed edges on the sticks. And then she resisted the police officers when they went to arrest her. So our position on it is, I don't know if she's the cause or if she's caused, but either way, she's behaving inappropriately. If she was just speaking, no problem.
Right, but outside of the behavior that different sides may disagree on, I'm trying to figure out what the correlation is between the behavior that is alleged and her participation or alleged participation with this group or coalition. I'm not following it, I guess.
Your Honor, I understand the court's concerns, and in light of the fact that she could do work with the organization, I would rephrase my request to be that she not be involved in any protests with the organization.
Judge, we're not coming to camp.
Hold on before you go, because I'm sure you've got a lot to say on that.
I do.
Well, again, maybe you have to help me here. Is it this Tahir Coalition that is responsible for the protest? Is that the piece I'm missing?
That's what we believe to be the case, Your Honor.
Okay. And so, again, so that I'm clear, that the Tahir Coalition is alleged, or at least thought to be responsible for the protest. And so you want to restrict this individual's participation with that group because of their responsibility for organizing the protests that have led to this.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. At least understand their position. Maybe I agree, don't agree, but go ahead.
Very well. Thank you, Judge. Respectfully. The defense, and the court is no surprise, the defense is this is free speech, that these are protests, and that this is indicated that she's presumed innocent until proven guilty from the very outrageous, ridiculous, and with no merit to the charges that she's brought now twice. Okay, this is going to be very litigated. Her position is that she's not guilty and that she's going to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. The bond conditions, Judge, are supposed to be set so that somebody comes before this court and that there's community safety and other provisions that we've already accomplished one provision of safety for the community. She's not going back to campus. Nothing associated with the University of Michigan. We agree. The further condition of association with Tahrir Coalition, whether or not they're the reason for this group that organized this protest or not. That's, to me, I don't think that they are. I think that the reason why these protests occurred is because the genocide that was happening in Gaza. So whether it's the Tahrir organization, Students for Justice in Palestine, any other of the dozens and dozens of groups that are standing and against what the purpose of that protest, they could have been associated with as well with these protests. You can't just pick one group and say you can't be a part of that because we believe with no evidence. It's just it's a summarily stated statement by the AG at this point that she can't associate with it. It doesn't have any reason or purpose in a bond condition. It's not necessary. We're not going to campus. We're not going to have any more protests. She's not protesting. There's a ceasefire, thankfully, that we've heard of. So I think that the situation has calmed down a bit. However, it's unnecessary at this point, Judge. And 6.106 it's not required. When we get to the other issues of no contact with the co-defendants, Judge, we have joint defense agreements in this case in the other case. I don't know if we're going to do the same in this case, but the lawyers will be communicating. And there is going to be time when our clients are going to be in rooms with the co-defendants while we're communicating defense in this case. I'm letting the court know that from now. We've been in talks, and we're going to continue to talk to defend our clients. So outside of that, no problem. We're not going to have contact. But I just want to make the court aware that there are joint defenses in this case.
I understand that, and I don't think that court's order would in any way be interpreted to cover the scenario that you're indicating.
Thank you, Judge.
I mean, I don't think it could. So that's the first part of that. The other part, though, is anything else from either side?
Your Honor, I didn't hear the last thing that the court said. I'm sorry.
I said, was there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I will indicate that I'll set the defendant's bond at a $10,000 personal or cognizance bond. She's not to leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. She's not to commit any crimes, she is not to commit any crimes. She's immediately notify the court of any change of address. She is not to use any illegal substances. She is not to purchase, possess, or any firearms, ammunition, or anything fashioned to be a weapon. I think that it's too broad regarding the request. Well, there are two real issues here. One being the Tahrir coalition. Without more, this court would have some concern with restricting someone from talking to a particular group. I am not familiar with the Tahrir coalition. But if, for example, that coalition, and again, I don't know, they have certain different arms of that coalition that do different things, and she might be involved with the humanitarian effort within that, and it would seem improper for the court to stop her from being able to engage in that. So, so without knowing more, I am going to decline to put a prohibition on the defendant that she could not have contact with the Tahrir coalition. By the same token, as I kind of was signaling and would indicate, that except for court-related proceedings and other things, I am going to indicate that the defendant is not to be in Washtenaw County. I don't see a basis or need for her to be here. If she has to visit friends, she has to make certain other arrangements. That will, counsel, you may want to, counsel, you may want to mute when if she's stuck. I just wanted to.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You can finish your question.
Judge, I need to approach, but I don't know how we're going to accomplish that with the AG on Zoom.
Because I'm the master of Zoom, and we will.
If I may approach, Your Honor.
Pardon? Oh, you need to let go. Oh.
I did. I just let go. I need to approach. Just.
All right. Here's what we'll do, ma'am. You you can have a C, take him yes, and then,
Thank you, Judge.
and for the rest of you here,